Every season I try to put together a first impressions video for you guys, that way you have somewhat of an idea of what to anticipate and what to look forward to during that anime season. But occasionally, these videos do find themselves falling a bit behind the timeline, but I really had to discuss the new season of High School DD, okay? So just bear with me, I'm about to get to the fall anime lineup right now, and do we have an incredible lineup of shows for the fall season, some of which that I am certain most of us have been highly anticipating and waiting on for quite some time. So, just in case you haven't started your fall binge cycle yet, don't touch that mouse and stop scrolling, because I'm about to introduce you to 5 shows that I am currently head over heels for and that you will hopefully fall in love with too. Shokugeki no Sona, the third plate, is what I'm going to be starting us off with, simply because it's the series that I started my fall season with. I know some of us have been anxiously awaiting the third season, and it has finally been served. And guys, so far it is looking incredible. We have some new characters introduced as Sona meets the rest of the 10 elites. The third season has a very refreshing new look to it. The character designs have been changed just a bit to make the characters' faces a little bit more curved, rather than that pointed design that was in the first 2 seasons. And I personally am hoping that the third season goes at least 24 episodes, because the second season was just way too short for me. We also have a brand new voice talent added as Yuki Kaji joins the cast. Now, as to which character he's actually covering, I will leave that up to you guys to discover, so not to ruin any of the fun. Next up, the ancient Magus Bride. And I have been waiting for this series to come out ever since the first OVA aired. And oh my god, the opening to it is absolutely breathtaking, and the art and colors are incredible. So far, I've made it all the way up to episode 3, which was, in my opinion, a very, very moving episode, and I can hardly wait to see what else this beautiful show has to unravel for us. Quinos Journey, which some of you may recall the original that aired back in 2003, well, this is the new version. And I know what some of you are saying right now. Why would they go and remake a classic? Well, my thoughts on this are to reintroduce it to the newer generations, as well to possibly shine the spotlight back on the original. The newer version is cleaner and it has better production qualities, but for the most part it's the same story. And I'm only saying for the most part because I've only seen up to episode 3, so I can't really tell if anything's truly changed. But the art is beautiful, and we also have full-scale footage, which I am so thankful for, because I really didn't like the 4x3 that was in the original. So, with this one I say, go experiment. If you've already seen the original, watch the new version. But if you haven't seen the original, watch the original first, and then watch the new version. You may find that you'll like both. And while we're on the subject of blasts from the past, Mahou Sensei Negima, which was one of my very first harem series ever, just released its second season Yukio Holder. The story deals with Evangeline the vampire, and spoiler alert for those of you who don't know yet, but Negi's grandson and his connections to Evangeline. And this season is one of my highly recommends for the fall, because unlike the first season of Negima, which was purely harem based, the second season is more battle action oriented, and so far it is holding up to that promise. And plus, I mean, it's Kinakamatsu's work, it's great shit. But if you haven't seen the first season of Negima, I recommend doing so first, that way you don't miss out on any links in the actual story. And finally we have Kitkai Sensen and Beyond, which is another sequel that I've been highly anticipating ever since the first season finished airing back in 2015, and I must say that I really enjoyed the first season. It had a very nice story in there of black and white, which ended beautifully. Not to mention the closing animation for the first season was one of the most epic I've ever seen. But so far I've made it up to episode 4 in the second season, and I really can't tell where it's headed right now. It seems that 2 of the episodes out of the first 4 were mainly filler, and I'm not sure when it's going to get back to the actual story plot. I'm hoping that this time around in the story we get to see more in-depth on Leonardo and his sister, and possibly having his sister introduced as an actual character in the series, rather than just seeing, you know, small scenes of her at the beginning of each episode where Leonardo is narrating a letter that he wrote to her. But other than that, the action has remained non-stop and it is looking excellent, so definitely give it a watch. With all that being said, this is going to conclude my...
They want you to talk about Black Clover.
What?
They want you to talk about Black Clover.
No, I'm not going to talk about that series. What are you doing? Don't play that clip. Do not play... Black Clover. Isn't this the series they said was going to be the new popular shonen?
Oh, no.